So this video is about Andy Anderson's new board that he's been working on for months. The cool thing about Pal Peralta is when you turn pro, you get to design your own board. In this conversation, he explains all about the board. I think I'm actually going to try this one. If you see this sticker, that means they're working on their boards. One of the engineers at Skate One, Justin, gave this to me. I'm pretty sure this is one of the original 80s stickers that they had lying in the basement. They first started making this sticker to show that people were working on their boards, or since they didn't have graphics for the boards yet, they would put this sticker on the board. I was telling George Powell how cool it is to talk to Andy because he thinks so outside of the box. It's so fun to talk to Andy and listen to his ideas. Alright, so I can't show this board yet. What did George say about it?
He said that I could start skating it in the videos, but not to promote any of its special features yet.
So what's so special about this board?
So, a lot of things, man. So there's like, my first board, the Heron, it had some serious magic in that board. And then after the Olympics, I was so sick of riding it because I was force feeding it to myself. So I needed something else, so I came out with the egg. So the Heron laid an egg. But that egg is just finally hatching. And this is the baby. This is the baby Heron.
Did you just come up with that?
No.
I've never heard this before.
Yeah, cause I never said it to, like, really in public. But yeah, the Heron laid an egg, baby.
Alright. So collectors are gonna want this exact one because not only do you have your special shape, but you have the experimental sticker from, I mean, that's the original sticker that George is giving you.
Yeah, these are ancient stickers.
Alright, so my favorite part is looking at it like that.
Thanks, Nigel.
This, I don't know. There's something going on here that I really like. You can't really tell when you're looking at it from the top. It looks more like a popsicle stick, but then you're seeing all these, like, I don't know.
So like, this is gonna slightly change.
Uh-huh.
This curve between there and there is a little too straight.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a little bit, I'm talking millimeters. A
Yeah.
little bit wider right there and a little bit skinnier right there. And what that is it's gonna be the exact curve of the Heron's nose.
And wait, and how does that help you to skate?
So that is my primo tail. So when I'm in primo, when I flip it this way,
Yeah.
it's too straight. So right now I hit a stopping point right there. But if it has a better curve, it'll just roll nice. So that's important. So that's the only thing that I'm trying to change on it.
So you're making a freestyle board that you skate street on and transition.
Yeah.
There isn't a board that you're supposed to skate everything on.
Well, my first board is, but it's massive, so it's inaccessible to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And because it's so long, certain tricks are naturally harder because it's harder to reach the nose. For example, back nose blunts.
Uh-huh.
Like if you want a back nose blunt, you can't, like you have to like move from here to here. But on this board, it's small enough that you can kind of keep your center of balance in the same spot and use the whole board. It being narrower too allows me to lock in heel side or toe side without adjusting my foot. But with a big wide board, heel side is on one side and toe side I have to really shift my foot over. So this is a 8.38 and this is an 8 right here in the middle.
So 8 goes bigger.
And then
This is perfect for pressure flips.
yes. So this is the huge breakthrough I had for the pressure pocket. Is I was trying to engineer this pressure pocket for so long and I couldn't figure out how to get it right, and I recently figured it out. I call it an inhaling curve or a reverse curve right here. So it's kind of wearing out now, but like, and when you sand it, it's hard to sand, so this is still experimental, but it comes in and then curves up just a little bit before this part, which makes it so that when the tail's hitting the ground, it's gonna pop there in the center, and then a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and then it's gonna stop. So if your foot's any further over than this point, between there and the wheel, then it's gonna have this crazy pressure pocket.
Yes.
And it's gonna, like, it makes impossible so much easier. Pressure flips, tray flips, kind of any rotational flip trick. Because even for a tray flip, you want your board to scoop like that so you have more of a wall to flick against.
So you're thinking of certain tricks and how to design the board so those tricks will work really well.
And yes, and on top of that, I want to create or maybe provide something that isn't available in the market. So no board has a pressure pocket. So if I come out with a board that doesn't have one, you might as well get a different board. But if it has it, then you can decide, do I want a board with a pressure pocket or not? And if you decide not, then get any other board.
Pretty cool. I like the fact that you made it smaller for kids, because your last board was definitely, that was a big boy.
Big boy.
Right.
It's so funny to see them next to each other.
But now you're actually skating the board, because you had two sizes. One was like
Smaller, but it was too small. Like, I don't know, it's like it didn't fit me. Moving down to the egg was a huge move downwards. It took a long time to get used to that smaller. And then after about a year skating it, it felt big. So weird. So now I'm gone to actual like standard skateboard size, which is a 14 1/4 wheelbase.
Okay.
So in the 90s, it was a 14 wheelbase. In the 80s, it was a 15 wheelbase. And in the 2010s and onward, it's 14.25 is kind of standard. The other big thing about this board that I'm super excited about is this skinny part in the middle. So most companies that have trouble pulling off the skinny part because it makes the board weaker, but with the flight deck, we can just make the board stronger.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah, so we can experiment with different shapes more easily with the flight deck technology.
Yeah. Because I mean, the bigger board you have, the stronger it'll be. But with flight boards, we can
just program the board to be stronger if we need it stronger.
Yeah.
And then what's so sick about this is, on the egg board, I had trouble flicking some tricks because, like, when you flick on the egg, you know, the rail of the board is falling away. So you have less and less flick space. So like, I really appreciate FA boards and hockey boards because they have really long, straight rails.
Yeah.
They make kickflips nice and easy because there's so much real estate to flick off of. But a straight rail for me sacrifices so many primo stuff. So I could never skate a straight rail like that. So this compromise ended up being a benefit. So you put your foot where it's narrow now, put your foot in the narrow spot, and with your heel hanging off, you get more pop. And then when you flick, you have this extra wing. Not only is it straight, you have extra, so you have like more real estate to flick than ever before. And then, so you'd say, why not just make this bigger? Well, this right here is so specific to where it's placed. So when I put my foot on it, my foot can actually, if I'm resting my foot right here, my foot's really high up. And that's perfect for kickflips off the nose. So that's like, if this came down any further, it would hinder my ollie stance. So it's in the perfect spot. Like, trust me, like, we've tried 3 millimeters this way and 3 millimeters that way.
Yeah.
3 millimeters that way doesn't work. 3 millimeters this way is awkward and like, it's like so precise, dude. But it works.
Yeah, it works great.
Super great. I love this ground. But yeah. And then, so this board is tailored to people who want to get into skateboarding or in general into flip tricks. This is by far going to be the best flip trick board I've ever designed.
Yeah.
It's tailored for flip tricks.
The shape's growing on me. It's almost like a soy with each thing everything here has a function. It's not just like for looks. You're working on it to make it functional. It's not supposed to be for looks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like, the big thing was this inhaling curve right here, because forever I was picturing it being right here, like an inhaling curve, and then that makes a pressure pocket, but it makes it so your pop is super unstable. So I was trying to figure out, okay, it needs to be square, and it's too square, it looks weird. So moving the inhaling curve from here to there and there and keeping this slightly round, game changer, man.
Well, how about this? If a skater skates a board that's 8, 8.5, 8 1/4, that 1/4 inch makes such a fucking difference.
Yes.
So why would that 1/4 inch not make a difference on all over your board when you're doing different tricks?
Absolutely, right?
So that's where like people aren't thinking about like, hey, I need to skate at 8 1/4. Well, dude, did you ever think that like when you do kickflips, you might need an 8.5, but when you do a heel, or whatever, you know, like different tricks, you need different sizes. So maybe that will kind of help people to think. Well, hopefully that'll progress skateboarding so other people think the same way and start making boards so they're more functional and not just like, here's a popsicle and like, go ahead, it's 8 1/4.
Yeah,
everybody should be happy with it.
Presents the importance of the nuance.
Yeah.
You know, and people are already aware they're so like attuned. Their antennas are so sensitive to how wide the board is. Now this is just all over the place. But it's really cool because when it gets wider too, the concave is steeper. Because it's wider. So you have that flat board feel where you start from. So you have like a starting position and then your landing position. And the landing is where the most space on the board is. And the starting is where the least, like, so you're like flicking up an 8 with an extra wing. You're flicking here, and you're either doing rotational flicks, flicking out of there, or you're doing straight tricks, flicking out of there. Or a heel flip. Varial heel out of there, heel flip out of there.
I love it.
Yeah, this is the first unofficial video promoting this board.
But I can't even use it until, we're filming this months before your board even comes out.
And this is the first one that I'm actually stoked on.
Yeah. I'll roll it up.
Good to see Chris as well.
He used to live with me. I worked with him.
Oh, dude.
He could not come home without me hiding behind something and scaring him.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And every time he would scream like a little girl.
You're so bad, man.
I thought it's you. Dave Bachinsky, who's your favorite skater and what stance are they?
Scott Kane, regular, kickflip front nose blunt, bootleg.
Damn, that's a good one. Is he regular or goofy?
He did ask him that. Regular.
What are you?
Kickflip front nose blunt. He did it on Silmar.
Joe Krolik shot it and messed it up.
No way.
Yeah, so they had to like piece a frame of it.
Blast.
What are you?
Regular.
I thought you were gonna say Manny Santiago.
Manny's unbelievable. The best in the game. Let me retake that. Manny. Manny's goofy. That's how we do it. Salt and pepper. That's how we do it.
And what's for lunch?